Republican Florida State Senator Ileana Garcia expressed her support for the so-called Don't Say Gay bill on Tuesday by arguing that LGBT is not a permanent thing, according to her. During a 15-minute speech on the Senate floor, Garcia argued in favor of the bill that would prevent teachers from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity with younger students. Take a look at Garcia's input, which includes repeatedly misgendering someone she says is a personal close friend of hers.
I'm going to start off by delineating exactly what LGBT is. And by the way, gay is not a permanent thing. LGBT is not a permanent thing, and it's not a bad thing. I say with all due respect, when they say targeting, this isn't at all about targeting. I think this is about perhaps rerouting the responsibilities back to the parents, which is what I think that this bill wants to once again delineate. And I wanted to take a good look at everyone, and I wanted everyone to look at me because Senator Garcia will support this bill today, but I want to explain why. There's Carla with the United Teachers of Dade, and I want to make sure that she heard this as well. You know, I don't like to use this tag. When I introduce my friends, I don't say, this is my best gay friend. No, this is my best friend. Or this is my lesbian aunt. No, this is my aunt. You know, people are people because of their qualities, not because of their identity and their sexuality. And I think a lot of the people here on the floor, including Senator Jones, knows that I am very inclusive and I'm very open with regards to that. As a matter of fact, once again, my circle of friends, all LGBT, but I don't pander on that. You will never ever find Senator Garcia pandering the LGBT community for a vote, ever. Because I have a son and I have relatives and I have people that I love. So first and foremost, I think that what I haven't heard on this floor, and seldom do I talk, is exactly what LGBT is. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans. One thing is sexuality, and another thing is identity. You can identify as the opposite, but not necessarily like the opposite sex. I'll give you an example. A very good friend of mine, trans, went through the whole transition as an older man, 58 years old, became a woman, and guess what? He still likes women. He still likes women. He went through the whole process. And we'd laugh together and I'd say, why do you want to deal with the hormones? Why do you want to have to worry about the extensions and the hair and the boobs and the nails? And he loved it. And when he went through the transition and had an experience, a sexual experience, with all due respect, there were children, and I say this with respect, he realized that he continued to like women.
Florida Senate passed the state's so-called Don't Say Gay bill in a 22-17 vote on Tuesday afternoon. The controversial legislation, which was slammed as hateful by President Biden, now heads to the desk of Governor Ron DeSantis for his signature or a veto. If signed into law, it could go into effect on July 1st. Critics say that the dangerous bill, which prohibits school districts from encouraging classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in primary grade levels, or in a manner that is not age-appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students, could lead to an erasure of LGBTQ identity, history, and culture. It would also allow parents to sue a school district for violations. Catherine M. Oakley, State Legislative Director and Senior Counsel at the Human Rights Campaign, told the Daily News in an email statement that the Florida State Legislature is playing a dangerous political game with the health and safety of LGBTQ plus kids. The existence of LGBTQ plus people across Florida is not up for debate. We are proud parents, students, and teachers, and LGBTQ plus people deserve to exist boldly just like everyone else, she said. Democrats pushed back at the bill, saying that it could potentially lead to suicide. Senator Randolph Brassey said, "In your effort to elect Ron DeSantis and send him to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, I just ask you, is it worth it? Is it worth it if one child is affected by this piece of legislation, what you're doing today? I ask you, is it worth it? Is it worth a child being outed or bullied or potentially becoming suicidal?" Discriminatory pieces of legislation like the Don't Say Gay or Trans bill don't solve any critical issues in Florida. Instead, these bills shamefully attack and endanger LGBTQ plus students who are just trying to get a quality education, whom the state has an obligation to treat fairly and protect, Oakley told the news. LGBTQ plus Floridians are more than twice as likely to experience depression or anxiety compared to non-LGBTQ Floridians, she said, citing U.S. Census data. LGBTQ rights advocates in Florida have vowed to keep fighting against this bigoted legislation. We will not permit any school to enforce this in a way that endangers the safety of children. We stand ready to fight for Floridians in court and hold lawmakers who supported this bill accountable at the ballot box. Our fight continues, a statement by the group read. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to visit us at rawstory.com. And if you'd like to see more of the Raw Report, please like and subscribe and join others who like their news raw too.